All right.
Okay. So, the way this is playing out, you have... Okay, Thresh Jhin versus John Ezreal. There's no way that you should lose this lane.
For sure.
Especially, Thunderlord's Ignite.
Do
Which
you
is
know if
correct.
Anivia Kid is Froggen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the Jhin.
It is.
Okay. Is the video lagging?
No. Is the screen share lagging?
Yeah.
Okay, one sec.
Um,
I can reset it. Sometimes that happens.
yeah, I know. I've coached, so yeah,
For
I
sure.
totally know.
Alright,
Okay, man.
here we go.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, so you guys are going to take Gromp, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Usually in this matchup, I like to keep the wave kind of in the middle, but look for level 2 first, and then go for like a kill
Mm-hmm.
if we can.
Yeah, of course. You should utilize the shit out of bush control early on, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Janna loses discipline and in any way, like with her input, then you can punish her really, really hard if you have bush control.
What do you mean loses discipline?
Like, you'll see.
Okay,
I'll see if you read her well or not.
sure. Can you just define the term for me, though?
Like, if she pushes up a little too much, like if you notice that she takes for granted your ability to kill her, or like you're lethal on her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that she constantly inputs like close to the bush or away from the minion wave in a way where you can get a hook in, or flay into hook and just walk up and get an advantageous trade, then like look, you can just sit here because they didn't ward this, so
Right.
just sit on it. I mean, I would sit like right there at the very edge because Ezreal will probably queue through into here, so then it would miss if he tried to do that. But if he did that anyway, you could move up and trade because then your wave would end up pushing and he wouldn't have Q to trade with.
Right.
But this is good. This is good autoing. What you want to do here is stay in the bush, and then while you auto this, so you reveal yourself. Every time you auto, you pop up, and you can stay within like this range, right? Within the bush,
Mm-hmm.
while you auto, and then when this melee line is down, you move up to here while you're in the shadow of the bush, so they don't see you, right? So then you have the level 2 off this, and Jhin already has his level 2, and you're threatening from right here in the bush, and it's an easy kill. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you end up kind of doing a variation of that, but it doesn't throw them off as hard as if you were abusing the fact that you'd be in and out of the bush view or the vision.
Right.
You could be autoing here. Who's their
wave.
jungler?
So
I mean,
end up-
regardless of who it is, this is way too early for a jungler to be showing up. Even
Right.
even like the Lee Sin super early gank bot route doesn't get here at this time. It would be here around 3:10 into the lane. All right, I guess I'll wait for you to tab. You haven't been tabbing much though, and you haven't been checking the other lanes either. If you have some idle time like this when you're gonna go ward, you should be checking the other lanes and monitoring the minion waves.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I usually don't
Yeah,
do that.
that'll show you like what's really gankable for the enemy jungler and what isn't. Because if another lane is a dead lane to him and like he doesn't really have gank pressure there, then he's not going to show up 99%
Yeah.
of the time. And if he
It'll
does,
be more
then it'll
likely
just
for
be
him to
wasting
come
time.
bottom, right?
Yep,
Mm.
yep. And if
That's
the
a
other
really-
lanes have a lot of pressure, you can also put down a lot of pressure when you have vision, because then their jungler will be like the enemy lanes will be crying for help, and if they're not, then like the enemy jungler will just be farming while the
Right.
lanes are getting pressured. And it kind of spreads them thin because then he has to like he's on his toes, right? He has to make a play. Either he has to make a play in one of the lanes, or they'll start to tilt, and you guys just have extreme pressure. The way the bot matchup works, especially. And LeBlanc versus, I mean, Syndra can beat the LeBlanc actually, but she still has pretty good pressure in a 2v2, I guess. I don't know how Bard's 2v2s work out in jungle, but I assume they'd be okay, considering LeBlanc makes a lot of different 2v2s winning ones. So yeah, that pressure just means a lot. Do you go 2 points into E, then max Q, then W?
Usually I go 3 points in E and then max QW.
What I've seen most is the 2E and then QW, because I think the Korean supports really like the CDR. You should stay for refillable. Yeah, nice. All right. Cool. So this is pushing back to you. You should see where top is, because depending on how many minions are on each side. Okay, it's pushing back in. And Yi can
Yeah.
get a freeze on there. But you want to look at Yi to see if he's going to like alpha or anything like that. To clear, yep, see, he alphas. So now you know the wave's going to push back out and sit about there. And it's not going to be gankable for the enemy jungler until probably the next wave, unless Echo's cheesing a bush. But this is pushing back, so what you want to do is just sit back here.
So like
I still don't know who their jungler is.
it's Nocturne.
Oh,
so
okay.
if we pause for a second there, when you were talking about like Nocturne can gank top until the next wave, like what does this mean for me?
What that means for you is that right now Nocturne is more likely to gank bot because he's not going to be ganking a lane which is this pushed in priority when LeBlanc isn't even shown, right? And then he's not going to gank top just yet because
Did I ward?
Yi isn't in a very... Huh? Should
Did I
you?
ward just now? I feel like we should not be up here if we don't have a ward right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you should be there ready to lantern the Jhin out. Because this is pushing back to you anyway. There's no point in you being up here. This is really incorrect positioning by you in the lane. Does that make sense? Alright.
But at the same time, you do see like LeBlanc is in their jungle, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
they don't have kill pressure on. Like if Nocturne ends up ganking, then probably nothing ends up happening for them. But you don't want to risk just taking the damage anyway. Like you want to just waste his time as much as possible without him getting any form of productivity onto you. Alright. Yep, this... I don't know about that. I don't know if you want to ward here. Because Jhin is probably going to want to base after that wave pushes in. Like, look at his inventory. He has all long swords. He can definitely turn it into something already after just a couple waves.
So what would you do there instead?
So either you roam or base with him. But warding, there's no point, because it's going to be a dead lane for that, like, half the amount of the ward, you know?
I just wanted to kill the pink, but yeah, I get the point. Do you think I should just kill the pink without warding?
No, you could, like, if you had roamed instead of even killing the pink, you would be here in time to kill the Syndra already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it would have been more likely that she dies. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's important to monitor mid, because then you know the difference, like, between, oh, if I kill this pink ward, will I still have time to get up there? Should I walk straight up? Should I just base with the Jhin, because I can't do anything by the time I get up there, etc. If you were to base with the Jhin, I would say you could still take the pink, though, since they only had one in lane anyway. But
Okay.
alright. Ooh, okay. Alright, slick. I think you should lantern for Jhin there.
Yeah, I saw it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it makes not much difference, but it does help for sure.
Yeah. It's a fundamentals kind of thing. Alright. You should be, hitting this one. That's good. Dive her. Nocturne's mid. No, walk. You could have walked up to her. When she was... Here, hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. So you should hit this, and then this stutter back is good to like give her the confidence because she's watching you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that stutter back gives her the confidence to input forward, and then you can loop around this way. And if she hardlines straight back, then you take another step back here, and then you go through here. You hug this wall so it looks like you're roaming up, like you path this way, right? But instead you go through here, and then you loop around and dive her. Because you have vision of all three of them. And you can kill her with the Jin.
For sure. For sure. I know the kill is impossible.
Mm-hmm. But see that as soon as
Yeah,
she went into here, fuck the
he was
soul,
dead
dude.
there.
Yeah, forget the soul.
Yeah,
You're right there. That's
he's dead.
when you commit.
Yeah, he should be dead, I think. But I missed the hook.
It wasn't that you missed the hook. It was that you inputted back for the soul instead of going right into tower to cut him off.
Can you go back and watch that?
Yeah. Can you see the epic pen marks
Yeah.
on the screen? Okay. No, not even for the soul. You just went back.
I just walked a little.
Yeah.
Back.
But if he as soon as you see him duck into this tower, your instant reaction should be to input there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay. Alright. I don't like that. That's not a good pink.
Yeah.
Jin is pushing to base right now. He has no mana. I don't know why Bard is even there. You should be pinging Bard way off of this. Like, you need to ping Bard off, and Jin needs to push that out in base, because he hasn't based in forever, and he could have had components forever ago. And you pinking that doesn't do anything for you guys when you're about to base, and it's going to be a dead lane.
So what I had in mind there is I wanted to leave. You saw my pings, but then Bard is like asking me to stay, so I pinged it to see if it was not warded, and if it hasn't been warded, then I would have tried to flank them. But
yeah, but mathematically speaking, even like you guys can't really get a kill there. Like,
yeah,
Jin didn't even have enough mana for anything more than W for the root.
I don't know
okay?
why Bard is asking.
Bard wasn't. Yeah, Bard wasn't even level 6 to like trap them into a CC lock, you know, and it's not like you even had ignite. So there's you didn't even have enough damage to do anything on that gank. Alright. I would say your pink should go here. Because you guys aren't really going to be pressured. And if you are, then you should be... Like, if it's a scenario where you would have vision on Nocturne, it would be in here. So you would have... It would be a green ward anyway. And there's no need for you to keep a pink in here. Because, like, the pressure on the wave has fluctuated so much that they could just be there and then take this out. Or, considering it's Jungle Bard and now Nocturne has 6 against the Bard... He's not like Bard won't be able to 3v3 that, right? So they can just force with Nocturne from here, and that's their pressure. So you want a yellow wards here and here, and you don't need to use the pink bot lane at all right now. Not even really for an Echo TP, because if again, like I said, if they're in position to Echo TP or Nocturne ult, you're supposed to be behind the lane anyway, ready to Lantern, not up on the minion wave. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could use your pink for LeBlanc in that regard. Especially since she has, like, even though she died a lot mid, if you were looking at the minimap, she did have a lot of, most of the waves she had priority and she was pushed up, so she could actually utilize that pink.
Yeah, I tried to ping there to kill the ward, but it was, like, a little bit out of range, I think.
Yeah, after the initial mistake, I usually don't talk about any mistakes that go after it, unless it's, like, a potential to salvage, if that makes sense. Because there's really, like, you want to fix the initial mistake. You don't want to lock yourself into an initial bad habit, you know?
For sure.
You should ward that try.
Yeah, I actually ward, like, even better. I feel like this is, like, stronger against Nocturne and ends up actually seeing him for it. Because a
Okay.
lot of Nocturnes just end up camping right there, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's what he ends up doing actually.
Yeah, that's good. Well, there's a spot in the bush you could have put it where you would have seen him,
Even
like
when
the
he's behind the
angle.
wall.
Yeah, even when he's behind the wall. If you do it on the like, if this is the tri bush, if you do it on this corner right here, and he's hugging this wall, it'll see him because it goes
Okay.
like this and then into here, whatever. Nice. See, there you go. Perfect. I don't like Bard doing that. Why? He's just showing himself, and this is a disadvantageous 3v3.
I feel like because that ult was
Okay,
insane,
alright.
but somehow ended up
I
actually.
just don't like that. He puts himself in a position to make a coin flip play, and if he doesn't make it, then he gets screwed.
Yeah, I wasn't too
It's not. That's never the spot
bad.
you want to put yourself in. It's very solo queue-esque, and it's not. It's not going to give you consistent wins. But
Would you just not follow up on it right there?
no, he should just farm up towards top, and then either get an advantage in the form of vision or stealing Nocturne's top side in one way or another, or like tracking him with that vision to like so that when he goes top or when he sees Nocturne crossing through this area of his jungle, if he goes back towards that side, then you guys just take Dragon after because you're gonna have priority on the lane. That's a much safer macro play to make, but he's not a player that has had coaching or played much on teams before, so I don't expect him to know that right off the bat. Alright, Moby Boots when you took the first tower is good. That works. You can Lantern LeBlanc in the middle of this lane, but don't show in it.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to do it, but I was too ahead of him. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about this, though, because they could make a pick there. Since LeBlanc wasn't there yet, if Nocturne had just been in a really lucky spot for himself, you know?
You mean with me face checking that?
Yeah. Because he could have very well been on this side of the jungle anyway, because he was just bot side, and his top camps were probably coming up. Yep, see, he's right there now, but if he
Yeah.
had taken maybe a different route or something like that and had been there, then face checking that, if he fears you even, and
Yeah,
then
Syndra
Syndra
instantly
follows
kills
up,
me.
yeah,
Mhm.
so.
So how is there a better way to approach this gank then?
Um, well, yeah, like you'd lantern her and then you'd go around that way the same way, but you take a sharper angle instead of rounding it out and then warding and then going back into the lane. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
After you knock that out, put a yellow ward in there.
I saw he had a
Behind
ping,
you.
so I didn't want to like split. And
If he uses the pink on that, then great. That's good for you. Because then he's revealing the pink. He can't use it for like an objective or for a choke point where they can get a pick, right? And then you just take it out as soon as they don't have priority of that area anymore, and you know where it is. So that's totally fine to trade there, and then you
so
end
you
up
would bait the
passing
ping.
anyway. Yeah, so you would bait the pink with the green ward because the pink to him has way more value than that green ward to you at that moment, especially.
Yeah, especially because I'm basing right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave a lane ward in mid here, especially since LeBlanc won't be there. And you don't have vision off the left side, so yeah, it'd be really important to get a lane ward in mid to see where Syndra moves between each wave.
Where would you put
And
it?
what she does. Like just, those lanterns where it's like this, and then there's the lanterns at the end. You could put it like somewhere on this line, like here,
Okay.
just out range of the tower. 'Cause there's this little thing that goes like this in the lane, and that's like pretty much where the turret's vision goes for pinks. So if you put any in here, then the turret sees the pink, but if you do it in like this line, then you're good.
Yeah. You don't think this is good? Like this one is fine, just to leave it like right there, because we have a ward on the other side too.
No, because if they have priority this way, they're. I don't like leaving anything up to chance or for thought. You know, this entire area is uncovered. If Nocturne decides to gang through this way, and then Syndra, by some magic or because they swept in this area and know there aren't any wards there, goes through this way, and now they get priority over that red buff, then your jungler is just going to go there and he's going to get killed right away. And then they can take a Rift and a Dragon off that at this stage of the game with his death timer. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like leaving anything up to chance, and I want you to have all your bases covered in that regard, like to be able to see everybody. And that word is even expiring soon. That's another thing you're not checking up on often is the lifespan of the words that you're placing. You
Usually,
should
I'm pretty
actually just
aware of
have it
it.
in your head.
Yeah,
when you place
I
it when
do.
they're expire.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. You should. Okay. You should keep looking at. Right now, your eyes should be floating between here and the mini map to see what Nocturne does and where he alternates. If he like switches up to here, which he probably will, then you should or green ward that, because then that way you see if he's moving this way, or like gonna go back towards Bard or towards his golems or something for whatever reason, and you should check up on the lifespan of that ward. If that ward has good life on it, then it's okay to save this last Sightstone ward.
The one in their like bot side jungle.
Yeah, right there. The one that just
Okay.
got pinged on.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. That was close.
So see, this is a game where you have 100% kill participation, but there's still so much more you could be doing on a macro level, you know?
Like the thing with the wards and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
warding
the mid
and
lane ward.
yeah, warding and your positioning around the map.
Positioning around the map being where.
Like when we talked about not, heating the Nocturne Fog of War,
Yeah. 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 Okay.
etc.
Yes.
And then in lane positioning too. Okay. You should sweep this, yellow ward it, or green. I don't know.
Where?
What do most people call it, green or yellow?
Green, but doesn't
Okay.
matter.
I think it's because in colorblind it looks more yellow, and I use colorblind to make.
This is colorblind, I think.
Okay. No, it's not because you have a green health bar. It would be yellow. Okay, let's see. Let's rerun this play.
No, it's blue, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Mm-hmm. All right. You shouldn't use your flay there, especially since you don't know where they are, and then you see the Nocturne thing, like the paranoia. You want to have as much cooldowns up as possible before a potential skirmish. Yeah, so this is why you die a lot on Thresh. See? You're trying to salvage an unsalvageable play by your teammate. LeBlanc is 100% dead here, right?
Yeah,
And-
I was trying to give him more time by.
Yeah, like even if Nocturne has to go through here, they have absolutely no pressure on this. So Nocturne can walk straight through and kill her anyway. They have her pincered off. And
100%.
going for this Q legit just gets you killed. Or you have to use flash and then you die anyway. Like later on because you don't have flash.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one.
Dang.
It does end up punishing me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then watch this god You wanna call Sawyer bad? Watch this shit, dude.
I'm not calling him bad. I just said
I'm
I
just
just said
joking.
he plays like a solo queue player. Holy moly! All right. Huh.
Somehow it ends up going like that because of the fucking bard.
Because of
I
NA.
Yeah. I was about, I was literally about to type right there before we aced them. I was about to type, I love me some jungle bard or something like that.
No, don't.
But
Don't ever do that.
but then
If
he
you want to
just like,
climb, don't tilt your teammates.
yeah.
That's a really bad idea. All right, so Echo's the threat. He's going full AP. It's good that you're getting a locket. You didn't upgrade your what do you call it? Your sweeper.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably get it next pack.
Upgraded sweeper is OP, man.
I
Take out
know.
like an entire jungle side worth of vision with it, especially with Mobies. Before you go into that, you should be sweeping those brush, like both of those, especially
Where?
since it shows here, like this pixel and this. You went toward this, and they could have been in here anywhere. You didn't see them on the map.
Okay.
These are really easy picks to make too, because usually this is the part of river that kids in this elo have vision in, and that's it. So yeah, if they were smarter, they would legit just camp the vision that's there and make pick after pick on you. There would like you are technically right now 0-4 or 0-5 and 8. You know what I mean? By the times that you face check that, because
Yeah.
yeah, like smarter players definitely would have picked you off there.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the thing. If you want to get your KDA and thus your win rate up, um, I mean that's not always true, right? Like KDA whoring isn't always the answer, but obviously in this scenario where you could be just getting free picked for
Well,
no
it's just it's
return.
not. I mean, it's not really about the KDA number. It's just like unnecessary deaths,
Yeah,
right?
unnecessary. Yeah, if you want to cut your unnecessary deaths down and win more, then you have to practice it, even when like you don't think there's chance of you being picked. You have to go into
For
every
sure.
scenario thinking they could be like in that bush or in the fog of war coming to get you. Don't show in the lane if you don't have to. Because
Like
what
right here.
happen? Yeah, what happens
Okay.
is if you don't show in the lane, then they feel like you might be roaming. They can't like allocate like if you show in a lane, it's way easier for them to allocate where they want to put everybody. You know what I mean? Like you can let Jin push and then stay just behind him to like lantern him and whatever you need to do. Um, and then if they end up showing like this, you just trap them with the rest of your team, or the rest of your team gets something somewhere else because they showed their hand before your team did. You know?
Totally. That's a really good point.
Oh man, you know what I do have on? This. Holy crap.
Yeah,
That.
that's the difference.
Wow. I might have done it on the other videos too. Actually, I don't think I did it for the others. I might have. I don't know. But yeah, I just realized I had Flux on. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's really nice on the eyes, honestly, especially since I work at night so much. But yeah, I shouldn't have it on for recording. My bad. That Moby boot change is awesome.
Yeah, with the wards,
Hmm.
totally, man. I love it. Especially, I'm the kind of guy who just autos wards as I'm walking all the time.
Yeah. Any ward that is visible without the scanner, leave it while you're walking. Like the blue trinket and pink wards, just keep walking. Especially if your team has priority over that area, because you'll just go back and get it once the scanner is over. You want to use the timing of the scanner as much as possible, because you could have maybe swept this bush too down here if you just kept walking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are you getting next?
I'm probably going for Ruby because I want the HP from it.
Yeah, I would go Ruby and Face of the Mountain.
I think I go Ruby Mikhail's here.
Okay. That's okay too. They do have CC that Jin keeps getting hit by, so
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
wanna allow like Yi and
You
stuff.
have to start like putting a warning in your head every time your wards start getting low on your Sightstone. They're gonna have to reset, especially when your jungler isn't running Sightstone, which is gonna be 99% of solo queue games. All right. The good thing is that's a play that doesn't get your team screwed as hard because there's
Yeah,
nothing they can really do off it. There are some plays where it's okay to try to go for something like that. At least more okay than other scenarios where you can go for a coin flip if you're a snowball champ like Yi, where they can't get anything off of it. But that's more so earlier in the game than to give them one with his death timer being that high now because he's gonna miss a lot of resources for it. Sorry if I give you too much non-role specific information. By the way, there is just
no,
knowledge though.
it's okay. It helps.
Yeah,
Every bit helps, man.
for sure. And a lot of the people watching could also, use the macro, for sure. Like even the simpler macro and some of the even more advanced stuff. If you use it and master it for lower elo players, they can utilize that a lot more than any super specific champ stuff that I would teach you. Like I don't know the really specific mechanics. Like I would rather teach you how to ward and how to do this macro shit and what the lanes are going to do and how the enemy jungler is going to pressure based on what the lanes do than me teaching a Graves jungle how to cancel his RE animation, One is
Yeah,
very much more important to learn it first than the other. You should sweep this. Yep. Keep walking. In the lantern. Okay. You shouldn't play locked here. You should be looking down onto him and keep watching him and walk into the tower. But you can walk in and then like go in and out. You don't want to hard commit. You want to go and look for a hook to see if they can get any poke on him or they could potentially kill her. But because you guys have so much mobility and can get out, like he still has his ultimate and she has her WE or WR, then you're gonna have Lantern in 8 while you're floating here. You can kind of pressure this tower a little harder than you are. So then that way these lanes become more of a priority for them to watch.
yeah. I
Because
definitely
you're
didn't take
pressuring
into
here.
account the mobility,
Yeah,
like
factor. You
because we
should
can
have.
we
Yeah, you
yeah
also have this warded, but you should have left the ward in the river to check to see if they could come through here. Like this ward sees if they come through here, but if they're hugging this wall near the blue, then you don't see them, and they can come by. And if they 5-man that, then you guys are still screwed. But that's the only way that you guys would get screwed with how much mobility you have is if they go like full 5-man and CC chain. But obviously you'd be able to see that, yeah, if you had those words. So. All right. You have a nice case of my team LeBlanc versus enemy team LeBlanc going on here. You should lane ward. I think you
where
have one, right?
yeah I do have one I believe. No,
No,
actually
actually
it's
you
the
don't. Yeah, it's
yeah
empty. I just
I agree.
this outline made it look iffy. Yeah, you
Where
should
would
be
you drop the
basing.
word if you did have it?
Okay, let's go back to it. Actually, let's see if you go back through mid or even close to it. I'll show you. But yeah, just remind me. I'll show you. All right, so you see, as soon as Jin opens up here, you need to be looking at everyone on their team. Like, you need to be checking everything that you see. Any cooldowns used, how much they're how long they're going to be CC'd for through this bard, like stasis. And you need to see this Syndra and think to yourself, does she have flash? If you're not sure, then you need to be moving into him so that if she flashes over this wall, you can flay her. Okay?
Yeah.
Like you can shield him, you can put the locket shield down on him as well, with like so you can lantern shield, and then you flay her off and then hook, and she's dead. But yeah, you need to be looking at absolutely everything when he opens up like that. All right, the lane ward, as it was where I would put it, since you were alone there with, and not being pressured, would be like right here probably. Maybe a little off, yeah, a little up like that way, but around here, yeah.
Yep, I get it. I see your point.
Mm-hmm. That is Nasher. Yeah, that's definitely Nasher. Should be.
Yeah, we do get it here. Nocturne's up, so I end up walking up a little bit, but
That's good.
that's free.
Ezreal really just sat there and autoed the pink.
Yeah, I thought like, is he gonna ult? But then
Alright.
nothing happened.
Nice. Okay. No, sell the refillable for 2 pinks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
Alright, so we're just gonna
I did
take.
end up doing that, but not yet.
Okay, so you see the Nocturne. You definitely have siege potential on top right now for a little while. Bard's working his way up. And then Yi's going to have the split push bot. You should check to see if Yi has the TP. Like, you're not being proactive whatsoever about leading your team here.
I did just tell him to go bot because I saw he has TP when we were after we finished
okay, I saw
Asher.
it, yeah.
Yeah. I did call for him to go bottom and for us to go dragon, I think. But then they ended up getting the dragon. He does have TP here, I believe. And then I end up pulling Bard with me
She
to
flash?
get priority. Yeah, he ulted her and she flashed right there.
Okay, just making sure. Oh, man. That's a no-no. Don't ward and sweep at the same time. If you're going to ward, check to see if there's a pink in there, especially when it's a bush that is that likely to be pinked when the first outer is out. Yeah, or when the outer's out in mid, I mean. And then if you sweep that, then don't make the second mistake of staying there. Like, use your sweeper to actually check for green wards in the area.
Yeah, I just wasted my sweeper there completely.
You need to, like, one thing you can legit solo carry in the game and actually have to because of the way, like, solo queue works. Because junglers, like, aren't going to be helping you with vision, and 99% of them won't even get trackers in the CLO. Like, you really need to, like, you do vision denial and, like, grant vision for your team, like, solo. That's the way you solo carry, is if you get better vision than the entirety of the enemy team just by yourself, by thinking about vision, like, every single time you can. Like, before you go to bed, you should just be thinking about vision. You should get that Art of the Support book by Pseudonaut, and I'm kidding about that part, but you should just read that before you go to bed every night. No, but anyway.
All right.
Okay, so did you have any question about that? Mostly it's, yeah, the overview would be check out your, what do you call it, like the stuff you can do early on, like more proactively, thinking always about your positioning, about your warding before you go into it, right? So, yeah, there's that, and then there's your positioning on the map in general. Time summoners, check other lanes. You really focused mainly on yourself, and you shouldn't be doing that. You should never be looking at your own character like with your eyes on screen, let alone like continuing your what do you call it? Focus on them constantly with spacebar or whatever, like the lock screen. But yeah, you're focusing way too much on your own lane and like your own 2v2 and everything. And I get that because even like it's for me as a coach, right? When I go into the game, my problem, especially when I main AD carry instead of jungle, was being able to see everything around me as much while I was actually playing. Like so, applying it, right? Even though I knew I had the game knowledge, I just yeah. So just slow it down a little bit in your mind because you know you have the game knowledge, and now the stuff that I pointed out in your play, like you can just go over and focus more on it when you're playing. But yeah, focus on it really hard, and even if it takes like when I did the session, when I did one of the sessions, I'll keep the name private, but the person kind of declined a little bit and then spiked up to higher than what they were before, and they were like, hey, I don't know, like I'm having some slumps, and then he like slumped back down, and I told him like, well, what are you doing? And it turned out he was thinking way too much, right? About he was thinking way too much about like everything that I had taught him and everything that I needed to fix, that he wasn't fixing any of it. He was just so worried about not doing one of those mistakes that he just wasn't doing anything in the game. You know, like he was just
Yeah.
playing so passive that he wasn't doing anything proactive. And so I told them, and this actually happens with a lot of students. So some of the students might honestly be watching this thinking, oh, holy crap, that's me. But yeah, a lot of times it's, and I'm actually going to start giving a warning about this beforehand because it's starting to happen a lot more now where people are trying to focus on all these mistakes at once because there's so much knowledge that they get all at once because they haven't thought about League and this like, oh, there's objective rights and wrongs before. That like, yeah, you just focus on one at a time. Take a notepad and then write down every single thing that you should be improving on. Like, let's say this game I want to focus on my warding. This game I want to focus on my lane positioning or my overall map positioning, my roams, my itemization, whatever it may be. And then focus on that. And then as soon as you feel that's fixed, move on to the next thing. And you keep it as a cycle. Because let's say you fix your itemization, but then you focus on other stuff for so long that then you fuck up your itemization a little bit because you weren't thinking about it because you were thinking about all the other stuff. Well, then you go back to it and you keep refining it over and over. It's legit. That's why pro players play like 10 to 15 hours a day, right? Because they have to continue refining all this stuff over and over again to keep it at the very highest level and think about these things one at a time. At least the good ones. The bad ones, they just play 10 to 15 hours a day of the same shit, and it's like insanity, right? They keep doing the same thing and they think it's going to get better, but nothing changes because they're not actually focusing on any of their flaws, let alone just one each game. But all right, man. If you have any questions, feel free to always hit me up on Skype. I'm definitely down to do another session with you, so just keep in touch. And yeah, really good working with you.
Yeah, man.